Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you? This is Freddie Ewan, two-time GM of the year, 2023 Pantheon Cup champion, 2024 regular season champion, host of the TPFFKAL show. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We had a great first preseason week of fantasy football. The first thing I want to note out is I was looking at this morning. Our last show, TPFFKAL schedule release show, 151 views. Brian McCluskey, I don't know how he does it. Anytime he comes on the show, it's a barn burner. Last time he came on the show, his first appearance on the show actually was something like 112 views. This one, 151 views. So I hope everyone can understand why I want Brian back in the TPFFKAL so bad. He is great for the show. I don't know what he does. I don't know if he watches it 100 times. Like, I think maybe he might be watching this video 100 times, just clicking it over and over and over and over and over again. But whatever, man, I love it. It's great. It's great for fantasy. It's great for fantasy football, and it's great for the TPFFKAL show. We're getting a lot closer to football season coming up. Really close now. I think we're only like 3.5 weeks away. And I got to get Robyn on to start scheduling stuff. I know she reached out to JOMU. JOMU and his co-GM Sasquatch are scheduling a time to come on. Hopefully we'll get Sasquatch on. I think he will come on to the show with JOMU, but we really got to get the boys back in town. I got to get Robyn on Teji. I'm not sure how I pronounce your name yet, dude. Teji or TG, I guess we'll find out on the show. Cousin Pat, who I still think is a total moron, knows nothing about fantasy football. We got to get him on the show to see if the guy really knows anything or not. I mean, the guy thought, Darren Waller wasn't retired, which scares me a little bit, but easy money for us, right? We got to try to, we're going to try to get the regulars on too. I know that JWINS will get on here, no problem. I know that Jimmy will get on here, no problem. Champ's going to get on here, no problem. I know that, a couple guys will have to work. We'll have to squeeze Neil's titties a little bit to get him on, but hopefully that will happen. Anyway, JOMU asked me today about going over a little bit the rookie quarterbacks, and great weekend for preseason rookie quarterbacks. It was, super excited. I'm going to start out with the guy that everyone's talking about, and the guy that everyone's talking about is Jane Daniels of the Washington Redskins. Or Washington Commanders or Commandos or whatnot. This guy is going to be a stud in the league. Very obvious. Played really good in the preseason, and I think if you're, I know this is a this league, the TPFFKAL in particular, is a league where you can keep 4 keepers. We've talked about that going up before, but I think you get the right price on Jane Daniels. A lot of people already have their quarterbacks picked, but this guy is a good guy to jump on. The guy was sensational. Showed up for his first NFL game, had a throwback Doug Williams jersey on, 2 or 3 passes, 45 yards, scrambled untouched for a 3-yard rushing touchdown. Didn't play that much. He's going as a quarterback 14 in draft boards. I've been taking him in a lot of best ball drafts. Really think that he is going to come out and play really great. Once again, the Commanders are not a good football team, and I don't care what anyone says, they are still not a good football team. They still have not proved anything. Their offensive line is still sketchy. We don't know about the running back situation. They got a decent wide receiver. McLaurin is probably like a top 25 wide receiver, a decent wide receiver. Still got a lot of work to do in Washington. But the nice thing about that, I don't know necessarily in the TPFFKAL with the 6 points for the passing and rushing touchdowns for each. But I know in regular leagues where you're getting 6 points for a rushing touchdown and getting all those points for rushing yards, he's a really good choice. The other guy is a really good choice as well. The guy that went before Jane Daniels, Caleb Williams. Number 1 overall pick. He had 2 drives, went 4 for 7, 95 yards, had a 13-yard scramble. Both the drives ended in field goals. There were some drops, but he looked like he was very poised. He found DJ Moore on a 12-yard gain. This is another guy who in keeper leagues is going to be a good keeper. He is going like same thing around Daniels, anywhere from like 13 to 15 in redraft leagues. In keeper leagues, I think he is a definite guy that you want to grab if you can get him for a couple bucks, because it's the same thing. He's going to score a lot of points. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns. I think Williams is probably going to put up bigger numbers than Jan Daniels. Chicago was not a good team last year, but Chicago is really reloaded with their offense. Their offensive line is still a little iffy, but they got Swift in the backfield, who was fairly good for my Eagles last year. And they got some wide receivers out there. Keenan Allen is on the team now. DJ Moore. They got the rookie Romeo Lundundes. Really three great wide receivers. Cole Kmet is a pretty decent tight end as well. So he's going to have a lot more options than Daniel has. I think he's going to put up better numbers. I would still take Williams as a bigger pick. And of course, the two other quarterbacks to talk about also is Sam Darnold started the game. He was playing star reps in practice. But JJ McCarthy was really impressive as well. JJ McCarthy is going to be the starter of the Minnesota Vikings at some point this season, whether it's Sam Darnold to start, they're going to put McCarthy in. The Vikings can still compete. I mean, the Vikings have, they were really competitive a few years ago. Cousins went down last year and they were not really competitive, but they still got McCarthy is set up to do really well. He's got, JJ, one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. He's got, Hawkinson's coming off an injury. He's got the other guy, I can't forget his name right now, but the other wide receiver out there. So he's got a lot of opportunities and he can throw the ball pretty deep. McCarthy was he played a lot of the game, the preseason game. He went 11 for 17, 188 yards and threw 2 long touchdown passes. Scrambled twice on third down for 18 yards. And he was impressive. McCarthy, where you going to take him? I think in dynasty leagues, if you can get him, he's probably going to go for $1. He's probably going around like quarterback 20 right now. You're probably going to be able to get him for $1. And he's definitely, if you can manage to keep him on your roster during the regular season, I think he will be a fairly decent keeper to have. He's definitely not going to be as good as the two other guys, but, and he's definitely not a guy who's going to come out and just show you something in any kind of redraft league. No one's going to start JJ McCarthy. He might not even be the star going into Minnesota, but McCarthy played very well. He's got a future in this league. The other guy that we want to talk about is Bo Nix. Bo Nix was super. Didn't start the game. He was 15 for 21, had 125 yards passing and a touchdown. He had 3 rushes for 17 yards. Completed a lot of passes to a lot of different players. Super good. I think Nix is going to come out and be the starter in Denver. Same thing with Denver. Denver is not a very good football team. They don't have really any hammer wide receivers. They don't really have a good running back. Denver is a horrible football team. Bo Nix is going to be a good player. The situation that he in just sucks. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with Nix. If Nix was in a better situation, like if he was in a situation that Chicago has, if he was in a situation that Minnesota has, I think he would be right up there with the other guys. But I don't think, I don't think, I think he'll be able to, not draft Nix. I think he'll remain a free agent probably for a while. And maybe not be a keeper, for $5 you might be able to get him next year for a little cheap, but long-term wise, does he have keeper viability? He most certainly does. And then just want to talk about a couple of these rookie running backs that got off to a hot start. Want to talk about Eric Gray as the running back for the New York Giants. Devin Singletary had a great year last year with Houston, a really great year. I had him on my fantasy team in the TPFFKAL. He got me a lot of points. Singletary's an old guy, and he is, he's Singletary's not going to last. He's not going to carry all the balls in New York. New York is another horrible football team. Everyone was backing up and hyping up the rookie Tyrone Tracy. I'm sorry about that. The rookie for the Giants is Tyrone Tracy. Everyone is hyping him up. Eric Gray has been super. I've been drafting Eric Gray in best ball leagues in the last couple of rounds. I think that Eric Gray is eventually going to be the starting running back for the New York Giants. At some point, he's going to take over Singletary. Everyone's looking at Singletary as like a kind of a mid to late round draft pick, saying he's going to do really well. I think that Singletary had a good situation in Houston last year. It's not going to be a good situation in New York. He's going to end up losing his job. Jalen Wright had a really good game. He had a total of 55 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries. on the Miami Dolphins. He was the 4th-round pick for Miami. Miami's loaded in that backfield with both O'Chain and both Mozart. But we want to remember that both those guys went down with injuries last year. And they can certainly go down with an injury again. They can certainly not be the same kind of running back that they were before. Jalen Wright is a guy, I don't think he's going to get drafted in the TPFFKAL, but he's a guy definitely to keep an eye on. I think he's probably going to, he's not going to have a lot of opportunities unless one of those two guys go down to Miami, and then he's really going to shine. Miami's got a good running back situation right now, especially with those 3 guys now, but the other thing is that's why I haven't been that big on the Chain or Mozart or anyone else on Miami, because you really don't know where that backfield's going to go. Next guy I want to talk about, rookie Braylon Allen. Looks like he's going to be the number 2 running back besides Breece Hall. If you have Breece Hall and draft him, Braylon Allen is a definite handcuff that you want to get. Had 54 yards on 6 carries, did really well in his preseason game. Breece Hall had that torn ACL. Breece Hall is going as high as number 2, as low as number 8. He is a 1st-round pick. Everyone is expecting big things from Breece Hall. Still coming off a really shaky injury. Braylon Allen might be able to do a lot of things, that rookie behind Breece Hall for the Jets. Wide receivers. Just want to talk about a couple wide receivers. The Packers wide receiver room, Jordan Love, super. Donovan Wicks picked up right where he left off. Caught a 65-yard touchdown pass on the 3rd play from Jordan Love. Wicks was a rookie last year and did really hot. He's going to probably have an opportunity. There's a lot of wide receivers in Green Bay that are good. He's going to have an opportunity to do really well in Green Bay. So Wicks is another guy that I'm keeping an eye on. Calvin Ridley is another guy that I like a lot. I took Calvin Ridley, knew that Hopkins went out. Levi looks really good. I have a lot of confidence in Levi in his 2nd year, and I think Ridley is really going to get a lot of balls thrown to him, especially with Hopkins out. He's going to do much better than he did last year when he was on the Jaguars. And he had a pretty decent year when he was on the Jaguars. A couple other ones that just to give you, I just want to let you know, Brian Thomas, another rookie 1st-round pick drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville lost Calvin Ridley to Tennessee. They went through the draft. They grabbed Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas was really good. Caught a underthrown 41-yard pass from CJ Beathard. Really looking good in practice, everyone says. This is another guy that I like. He's currently going at wide receiver 55. I think he's got a good potential to be a keeper too. Probably going to get drafted in the TPFFKAL for a couple bucks, but I think Brian Thomas really has a good opportunity. Lastly and least, tight end Brock Bowers. The guy was a bulldozer in Georgia. Unbelievable. I think he was just, I think Pitts was like the 4th pick overall for a tight end. And I think Pitts might have been the Georgia too. I'm not sure, but Bowers was unbelievable at Georgia. What's surprising how, I think the Raiders, when they took him, they were basically just taking the best player available in the draft, because they had taken Michael Mayer last year, who was a rookie and played really well for the Raiders, which made me think that Bowers is going to have a little trouble getting involved. But Brock Bowers, especially with with the shaky quarterback situation in Vegas, whenever there's a shaky quarterback situation, not very good quarterbacks, I always think that the tight end's going to get more opportunities than the wide receivers because of those short crossing patterns and whatnot. I think Bowers has a really good opportunity to catch a lot of balls this year and score a lot of touchdowns for the Raiders. He is definitely one of my big picks. And let me just see if I can bring this up to you really quick. I just want to go over the risers and the fallers that I have. A couple of one of these mentioned, but the risers that we have going right now is JJ McCarthy is a riser. Bo Nix is a riser. Tank Dell played really well this weekend. He is a riser. He's behind Diggs and Collins, but he's playing really well. CJ Stroud is going to be a baller. I think CJ Stroud's going to have a big year, possible MVP type year. CJ Stroud and Jordan Love are my dark horse MVP picks. Jane Daniels, obvious riser. Caleb Williams, obvious riser. Brock Bowers, I think it's them all, obvious riser. Another guy who's looking good is Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy can run like you would not believe. The guy broke the record for the 40, and he's with the guy with the strongest arm in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. So I think Worthy is probably not going to have a whole lot of targets or catches, but I think he's like a Deshaun Jackson type of player, and he's going to catch a lot of long balls. Jordan Love is another riser I got. The other guy that I got who I think is rising pretty good is T. Higgins. T. Higgins looked really good. Chase Young is still out. We are not sure of the status of him, but T. Higgins looked very, very good. I don't think I have my followers. I might have forgot them. Let me see if I can bring them up somewhere. Let me see if I can bring them up really quick. I might not be able to. No, I gotta find it somewhere. I don't have my followers, but I'll put them. I'll bring them up and next time when we have next time we're gonna have a special guest on the show. I'm really gonna start getting Robyn to go at it this week and get these people on. I can already tell you that this show is not gonna have 150 likes. Brian's gonna watch this video maybe once. It's not even in the TPFFKAL. We're playing fantasy football, so maybe we'll get him. I'm still trying to get to commish to sneak him in as my co-GM. That would be dangerous. That would be extremely dangerous if the commissioner would let him be my co-GM. That would give this league's been in the league for 3 years, and there's been 2 GMs of the year. Could you imagine 2 GM of the year coaching the same fantasy football team? I mean, the TPFFKAL could just shut down then, and just give both the GM of the year and the Pantheon Cup every year to TOD. But anyway, that's it. That's Frey Ewan, and hope to see you guys soon. I am really going to try to get some guests on this week. I'm going to really start pushing Joe Murray and Doug. And, I know Jimmy, JWINS, and Champ are going to get on here soon. The other guys are going to be a little bit of pussies, but we'll get them on. Robyn knows how to work it. Anyway, have a great night. Hope you enjoyed the show. And any comments, please let me know. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.